Welcome back, episode 3 of the Checkered Flag Racing Podcast. It was a fun one at Michigan this weekend. A lot of things happened. We have a 15th winner in Mr. Teagan down there in the bottom left. You must be very, very happy. Kevin Harvick broke through, got his first win in 65 races. He pulled it off and locked himself into the playoffs. How you feeling?
Pretty damn good. I'm not gonna lie, I took that one in yesterday, so
yeah,
could be the last. You never know.
You never know.
It could be the last one. I don't think it will be, but it could be. You never know. I mean, you don't know when Jimmy Johnson had his last one, so.
Right, you didn't expect that one to be his last one.
No.
Also joined by Ryan Parsons. He's been here all 3 weeks, so shout out Ryan. Welcome.
Hello.
And first-time guest, David Wessel. How we doing, brother?
Pretty good.
Member of Two Bros, One Show, his podcast. You can find that anywhere that you can get your podcasts, right?
Yeah, we're everywhere.
So you're welcome for the shameless plug.
Thank you.
But let's talk about Michigan a little bit. Kevin Harvick pulls away from the field in a late race restart. Joey Logano holds up Bubba Wallace, and Harvick pulls away, and he ends up winning the race. What are our thoughts? We'll talk to the new guy, Wessel, first.
Well, for one, it kind of surprised me that it took this long for Harvick to kind of get through his winless streak, because it's not like this guy came off of like one win and then didn't win for 65 races. Like, he won 10 races and then was just cold for 2 years. So that was kind of surprising.
Yeah, Ryan, what did you make of the race? What did you notice with Harvick and Bubba Wallace trying to catch him in the late goings?
Well, as soon as Harvick had the restart and then you saw Larson and Logano start battling Bubba, Harvick was a bat out of hell and got out of there. And his car was fast too, as soon as he got into clean air. He was having problems back in traffic a little bit on restarts. He finally got one restart where he could start in the front row and be the control car, and you saw what happened. He took off. I mean, that's the easiest thing we can say about it. He was gone as soon as the battles started happening for second.
It was a huge, huge win for Harvick. I believe what is that? 5 out of the last 6 Michigan races now.
I think
is that
7.
right?
I think
5
out of 7.
5 out of 7. That is still absolutely insane. So Harvick has really taken a stranglehold on Michigan in the last few years. But it's a huge win for him. You know, he's top 10 in points. So most years you'd say that's probably good enough to make the playoffs. It wasn't at this point. He was the first guy out and was going to be in a must-win situation with the guy that was on the bubble at that point, who was 4th in points, Martin Truex Jr. But what an effort from Kevin Harvick. Huge, huge win for those guys. And it puts the guy 4th in points out of the playoffs. Martin Truex Jr., as I've said, 4th in the regular season standings. Ryan Blaney is 2nd in points right now, and he is the bubble driver. What are our thoughts that 2 guys that are top 5 in points could miss the playoffs?
I think this is what NASCAR wanted years ago. It's took a couple, or not a couple. It's 8 years into this format. Yeah. It took 8 years for them to finally get what they wanted out of it. Some don't think it's fair, and sometimes it ain't. But it's the system you're dealt with. It's the system you got to play with. So it's could be possibly out. All it takes is 2 more winners, and if they're not neither one of them, I mean, they're out. It's kind of sad, but I mean, it's just the way shit is now. So,
Wessel, you're a Ryan Blaney fan. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think there should be some reward for consistency. Like, the entire reason that the entire playoff format was introduced into NASCAR was because of Matt Kenseth.
Right. This one-win championship.
This is basically that. But I feel like in a world where a guy can run consistent enough to be 2nd in points and have the possibility of missing the playoffs, that's I just don't really think that's acceptable. Like, there's something needs to change.
My solution for it is you lock the top 5 guys in points in the playoffs. Because 6 through 10, you probably won't be as mad if they're having a great year if they're 6 through 10th in points, but I don't think there'd be as much outrage as if the guy 2nd in points misses the playoffs, or if 2 guys top 5 in points miss the playoffs, which is a very, very real possibility with Richmond, Watkins Glen, and Daytona upcoming, and 15 winners already in a 16-man playoff format. Ryan, what are you thinking? Do you think Blaney or Truex, do you think one of them get in? Do you think both of them get in? How do you think it's going to play out?
It's going to be one of them that's going to end up getting in. It's just sad that the problem is that they've been both very consistent this year. They should be rewarded by going into the playoffs, and they won't. One of them probably won't be rewarded for that, for having that consistent season. And I think honestly, it's end up probably going to be Truex that gets the boot, because I mean, the only track that I could really, he's been strong at Richmond. I think that's really the only track, because there was, I think, brought up in the past podcast, or one of the past ones, people can throw that car in on a road course pretty deep. They can throw it in deep.
And Toyota's had a lot of issues on the road courses this year.
Yep.
They have really, really struggled.
The only one that hasn't struggled or didn't show any struggle in the past few races at a road course, or at the past few road courses, was probably Christopher Bell.
Yeah,
absolutely. I know Busch had a good Sonoma, but Bell's the only one that's been somewhat up there to be able to control it.
Yeah, definitely. And what I want, as a NASCAR fan, my guy's locked in. Hopefully nothing happens at the R&D Center this week, but Chase Elliott's looking like he's going to be the regular season champion. So I'm chilling right now. What I'm hoping for is no new winners at Richmond, no new winners at Watkins Glen, and I want it to be one spot in the playoffs left, and it comes down to Daytona. That would maybe be the most electric vibe ever. It would absolutely be a mess. It would be awful. There'd be so many wrecks, but that's what I want. I want it to be fun. I want chaos, because my guy is dancing off with about 40 playoff points probably. So that's what I want. I don't know if you guys want that. I mean, Tegan, your guy's locked in. Ryan, you've changed your favorite driver every week, like Spencer.
Well,
so I don't really know.
I'm in between. Well, both of the guys that I prefer cheering for are in, so it doesn't matter.
Well, if there gets to a point where there's a lot of winners, Chase Briscoe could be out.
I don't think I see two or three more drivers winning. If we see two more drivers, that would knock out Busch, right?
Well, let's say Truex wins. Let's say Truex and Blaney win Richmond and Watkins Glen, which I don't think is crazy. And then there's a surprise winner at Daytona. You don't know.
Yeah.
But
so Kurt would be the first guy out, right?
Kurt would be the
first one out.
But in my opinion, I think that if there are 17 winners and Kurt Busch is the guy that gets the short end of the stick, he's out. I think NASCAR puts him in the playoffs regardless because of his injury. I think they look at him having a concussion, and they would place him in as the 17th driver in the playoffs.
I just don't think you can change the rule.
I'm not sure. They've done it before.
But they got a lot of backlash for that from your guy, Jeff.
And that was different. That was a manipulated race. That's a different story than having an injury and having to be out. You just can't change the rules for someone because they had an injury. I mean, everybody got pissy because Kyle Busch won the championship during his year that he had that injury. I can imagine what it'd be like if Kurt, got a freebie. Oh, here we'll put you number 17 and let you be eligible for the playoffs. And then he goes out there. I don't think it's going to happen. And he goes out there and wins it. I don't think Kurt is going to be 100%. Period. If he does come back, so I don't see NASCAR doing it.
If Kurt Busch is not back by the time the playoffs start, do you think that NASCAR will take him out of the playoffs?
No, I don't know. That's the same situation. It's you can't.
But if
the
playoff driver is not eligible to compete, if he's not cleared by the time the playoffs start, wouldn't they want a full field of eligible drivers?
You can't. It's the same thing with adding Kurt to it if he gets put out of it because we got a lot of winners. It's the same thing, just a different side of it. You can't change the rules to benefit somebody else because they didn't get in because Kurt decided he couldn't do the playoffs. You can't be like, oh, well, here you go, Martin Truex. We'll let you in now. You can't do it. You got to let the system play itself out. If there's only 15 drivers, there's only 15. That's one less driver that these layoff drivers got to go against in the first round.
I don't think NASCAR would want that, though. And I think that it's kind of the equivalent to, okay, you got a football team. The quarterback's out. You're not going to put the running back out there and just have 10 players in the field.
Unless you're the Denver Broncos.
Unless let's
They would
try.
have to literally come back and say, we're taking his waiver back. That's the only way it works.
They wouldn't. I think they can probably say like, there could be some rule in there if the driver is not eligible to complete, their playoff spot can be revoked. That's got to be there somewhere. I feel like.
I don't think if it had been, we'd already heard about it, especially by now.
This hasn't been a situation that's happened before.
No, this is his third race. We'd be here about it by now.
Didn't it happen with Tony Stewart? Didn't he win and get hurt or something in 2013? Or he killed the guy? I don't know.
No, he had the back injury.
Right.
Before Daytona. He got a waiver and he won Sonoma and he made it to the first round.
It was
actually it was before that format, so it doesn't.
Yeah, it was 2013 format, so it doesn't
correlate. Matter. But there's going to be a lot of talk surrounding Kurt Busch, and NASCAR could be put in the spot where they make a decision that might not be popular. But hopefully Kurt Busch gets back. Hopefully he's healthy. Hopefully he's ready to get back out there. But let's talk about his teammate, Bubba Wallace, his first career pole. And he was fast. He was the only driver that averaged over 190 miles an hour in qualifying. What do we think? Bubba Wallace, this week, of course, he finished second. So it's 4 consecutive top 10s, 3 of which are top 5s. What do you think about Bubba Wallace's hot streak right now?
He's been on a roll, and it's kind of come at a time when Kurt has been taken out of the 45. So I'm kind of wondering if maybe they're putting more time into the 23 after, Kurt's not really racing right now.
Well, one thing that could help with that is whenever Kurt went originally out, they swapped the pit crew. So they gave Bubba the 45 pit crew, which was a good crew all year.
A big upgrade for Bubba because he's had the worst pit crew all year, and it's not close.
He has, and there was somebody injured on his pit crew, so they were going to have to bring a new guy in. So they wanted one cohesive unit for their guy that was actually running for something right now. So that could be a big factor because in the last few weeks where Bubba Wallace has finished in the top 10 or top 5, you haven't seen him get those pit penalties like he did at Kansas or Nashville that really took him out of the race. Anybody thoughts on Bubba Wallace?
No, you're right. They with that 45 pit crew behind the wall of the 23 right now. It's allowing him to be consistently up there where he's been consistent at. Top 10 and obviously 3 out of the 4 top 5s. Michigan, he was just fast. I think it's plain and simple. He was very fast, especially at qualifying where
all the Toyotas were.
He put down a 39.7, I believe is what they said he put down.
Yeah, the only guy that was over 190.
It was
qualifying average speed.
It was a blazing time that he put down, and it's just he's been fast, and you can't disregard that. He's been fast. He can compete right now, and hopefully for right now until Kurt Busch is back, keep that 45 crew there until Kurt's back.
Definitely. Tegan, what are your thoughts?
I think he definitely keeps the better pit crew. It makes sense. I think the same thing is going to happen with Truex. I think the resources will go to Truex for the next couple of weeks to try to get the 4th Joe Gibbs car in and then a 6th Toyota. So you're always going to give, if possible, the driver the best crew. If you've got somebody and Kurt's got to win or had to win, whatever, he was in. So, if Kurt don't come back, or if he does, who's to say that they don't keep that crew just the way it is?
Right.
They've already been together 3 weeks with Bubba now, and it's proved that it's been good. So why not keep them?
Yeah. And we talked about Kurt Busch. How about we talk about the guy that's replaced him? Ty Gibbs, 3 top 20s already in his first 3 Cup Series races, and he gets his first career top 10. What do we think about Ty Gibbs? My personal opinion, I don't think there's a reason to keep that guy in the Xfinity Series next year. I think you need to get him to the Cup Series.
I think Kyle needs to be worried right now. Is what I think. I think Kyle needs to take a bigger pay cut.
Ty's proven he's ready. Ty is ready, and I could see. No, I wouldn't be surprised if he took over for either of the Bushes next season.
Yeah, if Kurt decides not to come back.
I could see Kyle more than Kurt because, he's been running in the 45 and he's been running good in the 45, but you see
Joe wants the boy.
Joe's going to want him in his car.
His team,
yeah, but you look
there'll be no stepping stone.
Well, here's the other problem, too, is that I think Kurt will run one more year. 45 goes to Reddick right after that. You're going to let Kurt run one more year. put Reddick in the 45 afterwards. There's no
If,
reason just to
maybe.
put. There's really no reason to put Ty Gibbs in the 45, knowing that Kyle's contract negotiations are stalemated right now. We don't know what's going to go on with Kyle,
Right.
and that is Gibbs' grandson, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yes.
Gibbs is Joe is gonna want Ty in his car, not in an affiliate driver, in an affiliate team. He would want him in his car, and with Kyle's contract negotiation stalemate right now, I mean, you could easily see Ty just take the 18, and then Kyle's just gonna have to go somewhere else. And there's only one team that
I'm telling you, I would not be shocked to see Kyle in a Stuart Haas car next season. I'm just saying. I'm saying I'm kind of hoping for it, just because I think two good drivers over that team would make it over the top.
Here's my
bring
opinion.
Harvick's up.
So we look at how Eric Jones entered the Cup Series. Where was his first ride?
Gibbs.
But that's
95.
Oh yeah.
No, it was in the 77
77.
Yeah.
Front row. I remember that now.
Furniture
Yeah.
Row Racing.
But Joe,
I know where you're going.
Right?
But
Joe
it's
Gibbs will
different.
not
That's
do
family.
that with
That's
Ty.
He won't do that with Ty.
Let me finish.
He's not going to do that.
Christopher Bell. Where was his first ride?
95. But again, it's different. That's
okay.
That's
I
family.
understand he's the grandbaby, whatever. But if Kurt Busch realizes that maybe it's not the best idea physically for him to race next year, is there any other guy that can go to that 45 that's not Ty Gibbs? I mean, if that would be.
It'll be a 1-year deal. Denny Hamlin will take that deal. If Joe Gibbs comes to him and says, I will give you money, or I will give you a better deal on cars, engines, pit crew, you name it, if you'll take Kyle so I can have Ty Gibbs in that 18 car. He will do it.
I don't see
you
that.
You don't think
happening.
Michael Jordan wouldn't jump at having Kyle Busch with Bubba?
I think Gene Haas would pull out all the stops for Kyle Busch.
I think so too. But I'm just saying, I see Joe Gibbs, if it comes down to it, we'll ask Denny Hamlin to take Kyle Busch for at least 1 year so that he can have Ty Gibbs in that 18 car next year. It may not happen, but the offer will be there.
Let's say Kyle Busch re-signs with Joe Gibbs for a 1-year deal. And let's say Kurt Busch can no longer drive or decides it's best for me to retire at the end of this season. Is it Ty Gibbs in the 45?
I would say have to at that point, yeah.
At that point, you have to, yeah.
If you have to, yeah. If that decision comes after, then yes. But I'm telling you, they're ahead of it. I think they are waiting to see what happens with Kurt before. I think Kyle just got screwed again, to be honest. He can thank he can not thank his brother. He can thank the accident, but Kyle's probably having to wait to see what happens with Kurt.
Kyle's Ty Gibbs' value is only going up. Kyle hasn't had a top 10 in 8 weeks.
Yeah.
I know that's not much to do. We all know Kyle Busch is very, very talented. Kyle Busch, we'll talk about him in a minute. But I just think that there's no conceivable reason for Ty Gibbs to run another season in the Xfinity Series. I don't see where that would benefit him. It would only put him more behind his competition in the Cup Series.
Yes. Somebody said it this weekend, and I didn't think of it till they said it. I think it was Jeff Burton. You need to get him in there now because they're still on a level playing field with all the Cup drivers figuring out this car. If you take him another year and you give these Cup drivers like Harvick and Kyle
a year behind him,
another year to get this car more figured out and get him more faster, you're putting him more behind. And it's a good point. So I think you start looking at stuff, and he's out there now running top 20 and getting top 10. So he's already kind of, in my opinion, ahead of the curveball.
Absolutely. I think that he 100% deserves to be in the Cup Series next year.
If he does not get the 18 car or the 45 car next year, and he does another year in Xfinity, I think he runs a big partial schedule next year. Though if it's a third car for Hamlin, then so be it. But it will happen. He'll be in a third Toyota.
It would have to be a third car
races
for Hamlin.
Yeah, it has to be.
Run a fifth anymore. Let's talk a little bit about Kyle Busch, who was caught up in the early race incident with Austin Cindric. Austin Cindric had a big hit. He luckily walked away okay. But Kyle Busch, in his interview after, was asked, how do you feel about your luck right now, or how frustrated are you, I believe was the question. And Kyle Busch responded with 1 to 10, infinity. So, what do we think about what's going on with Kyle Busch? He's had awful luck, as I've said. No top tens in the last 8 races. It's the longest streak, I believe, of his career.
It is.
So, what's going on with Kyle? It's bad luck, definitely, but do you think this contract negotiation could be playing a factor?
I don't think that's all of it. I think his crew chief is some of it, with some strategy call that they're making. Do not be surprised if Kyle stays, the crew chief don't. That's just my opinion. So I think he gets a new crew chief next year if he stays.
Maybe they give him Truex's because it doesn't seem like Truex and that guy get along very well.
Yeah, it don't look like that. Maybe they'll bring Cole Pern back or something. Who knows? Hell.
Yeah, if Cole Pern and Truex
won last year,
together, Cole Pern and Truex are winning races. They're winning 4 races because that.
Well, I think Cole Pern's a lot like Rodney Childress, though. He's got to figure out this new car, and I think it would take him a while. There's Cole Pern and Rodney Childress are kind of the same cloth. They knew how to manipulate a lot of stuff on that car, the Gen 6 car, right up to the limit to get it to go fast. And you just can't do that with this car. You get caught. It's not worth it either, apparently. So a lot of these teams even went to their teams, like Brad and them, and said, we're not doing that again because it's cost them so much. So it's kind of curbed the cheating a little bit so far.
Yeah, because, I mean, like you said, I mean, it's been taking that 4 team forever. So if Pern comes back in, it's going to take him a while too. So you probably won't see wins right out of the gate with Truex and Pern if Cole decides to come back, which seems pretty unlikely. Unless you see Kyle stay, then maybe you talk to Cole Pern. Maybe you do talk. Maybe you do talk to Cole Pern to say, hey, come back for Truex. You guys had a good connection. Maybe we can get it to work again because it's not working out.
Yeah, unfortunately, we were doing our.
You just got Brad Moran, Ryan.
But I mean, it all depends. If Busch stays, the crew chief's gonna go. If Busch leaves, the crew chief's probably gonna go as well. So the crew chief's not in a very good spot. The crew chief's in a bad spot. Kyle Busch is either leaving or staying, and if he stays, the crew chief's going.
Do we remember? Does anybody it's not on my brain right now? Does anybody know who Ty's Xfinity crew chief is? I feel like it's a good name that I've heard before.
Ty Ratcliffe, isn't it?
That's what I was about to say. Is it not the one that Kyle had years ago? He demoted.
I thought.
I thought Kyle had him at some point too.
No, Kyle had Adam Stevens.
Okay.
Yeah, he's with C-Bell now, isn't he?
He was with Bell. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. What's going on, tough guy?
Oh, no, it's Chris Gale.
Cowboy.
Chris Gale is his crew chief.
So I look for whenever Ty moves up for Chris Gale to go right with him. Spencer Boyce is on it. How about it?
Who's the one from Kyle, stop it. You're costing us.
Dave Rogers.
Was that like Steve Addington?
No, Rogers.
Dave Rogers.
Dave Rogers.
Yeah,
that was it.
D. Rogers.
Dave Rogers. Then he went, and literally after a couple of years later, goes right to Edwards.
What?
He went when Edwards went to Gibbs,
and then Adam Stevens, right?
And then Adam Stevens was.
You're ruining it for everybody.
Come in and park it for 2 laps.
Freedom of speech.
Yeah, that was so funny. And I was watching a video the other day where Carl Edwards basically did the same thing. Like it was like Daytona in like 2006, and he was avoiding the wreck or whatever. Yeah. And like he was like, "I'm not coming down. Sorry guys, I won't do this." And they're like, "Carl, just come into the pits." He's like, "Okay." I miss Carl, man. People forget how much of a hothead Carl Edwards was those first few years.
I loved Edwards.
He's not going to kill my Brad. He's not going to kill my boy. He's not going to kill my boy. Carl and Brad, that was like a feud that was going to kill somebody.
Yeah, especially in that car.
Those COTs,
those COTs.
They were the most violent crashes for a feud I've ever seen.
That COT probably could have gotten Brad killed, honestly.
And then the crash at, where was it, Milwaukee, I think?
Yeah, that was in
it was Milwaukee,
Where
he turned him in front of the field.
He turned him in front of the field on the last lap.
Annihilated, yeah.
Yeah, that's where that comment come from. I'm not going to let him kill my boy.
You're not going to kill my boy. Rest in peace, Bob Keselowski. But yeah, what else did you guys take away from Michigan? Christopher Bell and Ross Chastain had a little incident. Looked like it was Christopher Bell's fault. You see those two cars damaged though, and you immediately assume it's one of the guys' fault.
Ross Shitstain.
I was guilty of it, but it wasn't his fault. Looked like Bell just came up into him, right? I wasn't sure what really Bell was trying to do there.
It looked like Bell was trying to block him, but if I'm not mistaken, because Chastain
Bell was on old tires.
Bell was on old tires, and Chastain was trying to get himself
on fresh tires. Yeah,
with fresh tires, and
that's the move that helped Harvick. And no, PB didn't catch it, so.
And that's one of the only things they missed that race, if the only thing. Because I mean, that caution literally helped Harvick, and then Hamlin's pit crew shitting the bed again on him. Also helped him.
31st penalty on pit road this year, if I'm not mistaken.
That's ridiculous. That's insane. Like,
I think he has 15.
We talk about Bubba's crew. Let's talk about Denny's for a minute, because man, oh man, is that bad? Like, that's really,
they
really,
have
really
been
bad.
really.
I'm surprised he ain't gave him the Bubba.
True. But I mean, could you see if Truex misses the playoffs, Hamlin and Truex switching crews?
Doing some swapping, maybe.
You need a better.
I don't know.
You need a better crew for Hamlin, because that crew ain't gonna cut it.
But they're fast.
Those kind of things are gonna cost them the playoffs, unless their guy jumps off the pit wall and then goes back on to reset his position. Yeah. I'm honest. I'm a Chase fan. I'm very happy that happened. He's still over the wall way too soon. Don't care if he resets. That should have been a penalty, but neither here nor there. But hey, that gave Chase that non-penalty call gave Chase Elliott a championship. So shout out TJ, whatever his name is. That was Victor guy's first name that made that clutch decision.
Where was that at? Martinsville,
yeah.
Yeah, he won that race to lock him in the Final Four. Yep.
Yeah. He wasn't. I don't think he was going to make it on points, right?
No. Yeah, he was in a must-win.
Yeah. So shout out that guy, and shout out NASCAR. Helped us at the Roval too last year.
Yeah.
But let's talk about a guy that really, really impressed me this weekend. And he actually didn't finish well in the Cup Series. He only finished third in the Xfinity Series, but Noah Gragson was so impressive for me this weekend. The move that he made to win stage 2 on AJ Allmendinger in the Xfinity race was absolutely incredible. Tegan, I think you were the only one here to watch the Xfinity race. You saw that, right?
I saw the replay. I didn't see that part live, but I did
wasn't that an awesome move? And
it had to be. He held his breath and threw up in his helmet doing it. So it has to be an awesome move. The dude come out with brown splotches on his fire suit. It had to be a good move.
He keeps doing that though. Like I think he does that all the time.
Well, I mean, before he was doing it because he would win. It's his nerves and stuff like that. Now they have to remind him to breathe because he holds his breath when he's racing hard or intensely. So apparently he's got a very weak stomach. He's probably one of those ones you can show the video of 2 girls in a cup and he would just.
You can show me that and I'd throw up.
Oh, I did. I mean, so yeah. Anybody with upchuck, anybody that watch that video be like, is a weirdo. There's something wrong with
him. If anybody at home is watching and playing Checkered Flag Racing Podcast Bingo and you had 2 girls, 1 cup reference on there,
yes,
I'm pretty sure you got a bingo.
That's what made YouTube.
Yeah, right. But Noah Gragson really impressed me this weekend. He had a lightning fast car. He gained so much time back after pitting at the stage end in stage 2 to get back to third. And he made an incredible 3-wide move during the race yesterday. Looked as probably strong as that 16 car has looked on a non-road course this year. He spins out. I don't know where he ended up. I don't think it was a great finish. But I tweeted out, Noah Gragson continues to impress me more and more. And we're racing last night in our league, and guess what pops up on my phone? Liked by Noah Gragson. So shout out Noah Gragson. You win.
Was it really him?
Of the week. It was him. I sent the photo on the Discord. Yeah.
I didn't look. I don't pay attention to Discord anymore.
That's fair. I understand why.
Sometimes it don't even go off for me, so.
And
yep. That is.
Okay.
And I mean, is it all but certain that unless something like Junior decides to open up a Cup team, is it all but certain that you see Gregson in a Collie car next year?
No, he's not going to race for
I
Collie
think
next year. He's going to be in the
petty.
42.
Yep.
Noah Gragson I would be surprised if he's already signed that deal for the 42 next year.
And they're just waiting.
Yeah, I would not be surprised at all if that deal is signed. I would assume they wait till the playoffs because they don't want to,
make it
have somebody announced for that car before the playoffs start because Ty Dillon is not going to make the playoffs. I hate to say it. Sorry, Ty. You're not going to win Richmond. You're not.
They might as well. He already knows he ain't going to be in that car anyway. Hell, go ahead and announce it.
You're not going to win Daytona. That's true. I mean, if you put him on the Daytona road course and you put everybody on the wets and Ty Dillon on the slick tires, he is Lewis Hamilton.
Now,
who is now a part owner of the Broncos.
He could pull a Matt DiBenedetto. Remember that last year when they announced Matt DiBenedetto wasn't going to be in the 21 car, and then all of a sudden, Brad leaves for Roush, and then he thinks he's still entitled to the 21 car, and then still loses it, and is confused why. So we'll see.
He was your favorite driver, though, Wessel. What do you make of that?
He turned heel very quickly, and I've moved on to Ryan Blaney.
He inverted the numbers.
Yeah,
Ryan Blaney was always my second guy. I like Ryan Blaney.
Ryan Blaney is, I think, a common NASCAR fan's second favorite driver.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
He doesn't get in trouble. He doesn't.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
He's not enough to be. He's like a Kit Kat, right? It's like I love Kit Kats. Kit Kats are phenomenal, but
it's not the first choice.
I want a Reese's. If I can't have a Reese's, I'll take a Kit Kat, but I have Reese's and I'm gonna eat that.
Same
but
chocolate, but Hershey
they're just Reese's are just different. So yeah, Ryan Blaney, who's your second? Like he's my second favorite driver. It's probably between him and Bubba and Harvick, but yeah.
We know. Last year, Mike would never have said Harvick is his second
well,
favorite driver.
I liked Harvick for a while. Last year got a little rocky, but I can recover quickly. There's one guy I still will always have a little issue with, Brad Keselowski, because Jeff Gordon would have won the 2014 championship if that dude didn't slam through that hole like he did. And I love Kevin Harvick even more because Brad Keselowski was trying to run away from the fight, and Kevin Harvick just shoved him right in. That was awesome. So shout out
Texas,
Harvick.
wasn't it? I remember that.
It was at Texas, yeah.
Texas.
When Texas was still good.
Yeah, before they screwed it up. Back when 2 races there was actually decent.
It was just funny that all of a sudden, as soon as you see Harvick just push Keselowski, and you just see Gordon just moving through all, just pushing through all these people, and he just grabs
Gordon's back there winking. Hey, help me out, dude.
Yeah.
Put your ass over here.
I think Harvick was like, this dude needs to be accountable, man. He's wrecking everybody, and he's trying to run away.
I mean, there for a while, he had a run-in every freaking week, even the week before that one. So, yeah.
I mean, he got into it with Kenseth, Hamlin, and Tony Stewart in the same race.
One race. Yes.
Charlotte, that was the
Tony Stewart. After the checkered flag came out, Brad barely taps him. Tony Stewart has one of my favorite NASCAR moments here when he swings the car into reverse and just backs right up into Brad Keselowski.
He never liked Penske in 2013
It is
and 14.
one of my favorite moments ever.
13 and 14, Stewart was never a fan of Penske.
He was going to bust their ass.
He was going to bust someone's ass.
Yeah. So shout out Tony for that. Always good Tony Stewart conversation.
But, I mean,
my grandma used to be a Kevin Harvick fan, right? She was not happy with what happened last season with Kevin. And I showed her a video of NASCAR Road Rage Edition Kevin Harvick yesterday. And it was 25 minutes long. And it was by far more altercations than anybody else in that era. So shout out Kevin Harvick for bringing the vibes.
They need to bring it back.
Yeah.
What?
After the Indy road course, yeah, there needs to be some more of that.
Do we see question. We're on this topic. Is there going to be a fight in the 2022 playoffs?
Oh, yeah.
Probably, and I bet you Ross Chastain getting his bugged eye knocked out of his socket.
I still don't think that Ross and Denny are over. I still don't.
Absolutely not.
I think
No.
you might see a Denny versus Ross, and if Ross pisses someone else,
Denny doesn't seem like a fighter.
Denny's not
to me,
the fighter type though. No, he's
I
definitely.
would love to see Harvick just go back
you in the
to
wall.
his.
I don't
his-
know. No. I would agree with that until last Martinsville. He was pretty pissed off after that race, and I'm pretty sure that Ross Chastain has done him worse than Bowman did. So yes, if it happens again, I'll look for Hamlin to get out and deck his fucking eyes out. That's all I gotta say. I mean,
if Ross was in,
you piss somebody off enough, they get mad. They're going to get out of the car and beat the total crap out of you. They're going to try. I mean, look at Kyle Busch.
That's really what Ross needs.
I think so.
Maybe
I mean,
I think it was. Yeah, it would knock. Maybe that's what his problem is. He can't see straight.
He can't see. He's looking.
Hold on.
Yeah, that's why he can't see when he's knocking into people.
He looks like a
because
lizard, man.
it's over. I thought your car was over here. No, it was over here, dude. Fix your eyeball.
Hold on.
put a patch on.
Did anyone watch the Indy Roval Radioactive, by the way?
No.
Did you hear? This was funny. His spotter, when he said no, we remember his post-race interview was like, no, Dave, no. His spotter was like literally in his ear saying, use the access road. He literally, like, all you hear him say is use the access road.
And then he went to the NASCAR hauler asking why he was penalized. I mean, are you fucking stupid?
I mean, you blatantly did it.
I mean, hell,
but it wasn't a penalty all weekend.
It's no different than passing below the L. I mean, it wasn't all weekend, but he used it at the end of the race on purpose. True. There's a difference. He didn't stop or nothing. He just fucking slowed down enough to make sure he can make the corner. He wasn't slowing down for I better slow down. I had an advantage. No, I'm slowing down because I need to make sure I make this corner full speed. NASCAR saw that. They're not stupid all the time. I mean, come on. He may not have saw it out of his one eye, but NASCAR's got a couple eyes up there that are pretty damn good. They saw it, and they got Dylan for it too, so it was fair.
It's awesome that we have a heel in NASCAR. Like
my prediction, Daniel Suarez gets into a fight during the playoffs.
I hope it's McDowell. That needs to be revisited.
They need to run that one back.
And I think Bubba needs to be involved too, because he needs to be like a special referee.
Okay.
That's one thing I actually agreed with Bubba on that fight was like at Bristol where he said, he'll just bring up Jesus and it'll all be fine. I applaud you, Bubba. I applaud you.
Yeah. I'm a noted Michael McDowell hater, so I'm totally with Bubba on that. But
the dude's all right. There's just something about him that rubs me the wrong way. It's his interviewing. He
wrecked Chase at Daytona in I think like 2016 or 17. So he got on my bad side then. But
I mean, yeah,
I didn't like how he raced Bubba at the All-Star race 2 years ago, and yeah. So I'm not a Michael McDowell guy.
Religious nuts went nut over that one.
Oh yeah, they did. Because they don't like Bubba.
And he's felt that ever since.
Definitely. So back to the fights. I really want to see a fight now.
I do too, and it's gonna be Ross versus somebody. It's gonna end up being.
I think Ross is trying to simmer down a little bit.
He'll
simmer down for now, but he'll get it. He'll forget.
He'll be back.
He's gonna do the same shit he does every fucking week, where he'll come out of the infield care center.
I know what you're talking about. Go for it.
He'll have some kind of fucking sob story about, I'm a bad driver. I don't deserve this ride. And
Jamie,
I'm sorry.
And
then he'll come back and guess what? He'll do the same fucking thing next week.
I think he needs to get a sign that just says it.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Like a guy sitting at the airport looking for somebody.
Listen, man, sometimes apologies aren't enough for people, and I think Ross.
But the problem is that
that's
he
when you get out and deck
apologizes
his eyes
and then
out.
Doesn't fix his problem. He just keeps doing it over and over.
And he gets the same driver again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It ain't like he fucks up all the time. He gets the same driver again.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't be here. Let me wreck you again just to prove that I shouldn't be here.
It was funny too because when the Denny versus Chastain happened at Gateway, you got to see the most likely tag team of all time in NASCAR.
Chase and Denny, baby, that was awesome. That's my moment of the season so far.
I mean, Chastain's gonna end up getting in a fight. He's gonna push someone the wrong way, and it might be Denny. But if you piss off, let's say, Kyle Busch or Kevin Harvick, you're for sure looking for an ass kicking at that point. Because who remembers Busch and Logano 2017? Just to bring that up.
I do.
Yeah.
So, yeah. No blows hit me. Joey Logano quote. Anyway, so. Oh.
Busch was wanting to whoop his ass.
Yeah. So anyway, there was a conversation that we had. I think it was just in a random party that we didn't bring to the podcast yet. Ty Gibbs, when he gets to the Cup Series, I believe he will rub somebody the wrong way and get into a fight pretty early in his career. And I'm saying that the person that's going to fight Ty Gibbs is Kevin Harvick. Because Kevin Harvick has become the official get off my lawn of the NASCAR Cup Series.
I don't think so.
Kevin Harvick's always been like that. Well, he's always been like that.
It's funny though, because Tegan brought this up last week. He said, "Guess who was right about Chastain all the way back in what 2018?"
That's true.
17, wasn't it?
It was whenever he was in for Ganassi.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's when he was just starting to get some decent top rods in the Xfinity level. Yeah. And, I mean, he flat out brought it off the wall and spun Harvick out on purpose, and Harvick caught him out on it. But nobody's like, oh, that's just Harvick. He shouldn't be down in that series. He's giving a up-and-coming driver too much of a hard time, and here's that same son of a bitch, bug-eyed freak out here wrecking everybody. So, and Harvick actually kind of pulled him to the side last year or a couple years ago at Pocono and said, you know, if you wouldn't do stupid shit, you would have finished third and not 20th, just so you know, and walked off. Apparently, Ross Chastain took that to heart for a whole half a season and then forgot it. So maybe he needs another heart-to-heart with Papa and see if that fucking helps. I don't know. Because apparently he forgets easily. Yeah, but, you know, maybe Mr. Lawn needs to whip his ass with the garden hose or something. So
maybe he needs to run over his hood.
Something.
I don't know if Kevin's that spry anymore, but
I don't know.
We'll see.
Some bitch still trains, you know, with UFC fighters and stuff. So I mean, I don't think I'd want to try my luck with him, especially if I'm Ty Gibbs. That son bitch is like 5'4". He'd get his.
Ty Gibbs is small.
No,
I don't think Harvick would knock him. I don't think Harvick would knock him out. Maybe Harvick would just take him to the side. Listen here, you little short son of a bitch. I'm not doing this again with another Bush. Your ass better get to the line.
Bush,
no, I'm talking about how he did with Kyle. That's how Kyle was.
Right.
Kyle reminds me, Ty Gibbs reminds me a lot of Kyle Busch. A lot of speed and talent, and he just overdoes it, oversteps it.
But with Jesus.
Well, a lot like Ross Chastain, yeah. But Ross Chastain's just a different side of this.
Ross Chastain is Kyle Busch with watermelons, and Ty Gibbs is Kyle Busch with Jesus.
Or Monster.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
Kyle used to have Monster though too.
He used to have NOS, if anyone remembers those beautiful paint schemes.
And now he's got his own. So I mean, I thought about that last week. I said this son of a bitch just went through the energy drinks like it ain't nothing.
Well, NOS and Monster are made by the same company, right?
Yeah, I think all the energy drinks are now. I think like a bunch of them sold.
Well, Red Bull's its own thing. Yeah, Monster
Red Bull,
and NOS,
Red Bull ain't shit.
Like Coke, I believe.
I think make Red Bull with their commercials.
I'm not sure.
Tegan going at Red Bull here. I guess we're not getting that sponsorship.
Hey, Blue Edition Red Bull hits hard.
Wes the big Red Bull guy. Let's talk a little bit more about Ryan Blaney. We kind of covered it. He had a good race. He has not been as good lately, though, as he was at the beginning of the season. Let's go around. We'll start with Ryan, then go Tegan, then Wessel. Does Ryan Blaney make the playoffs, and give me the reason why?
Yes, and I just think it comes down to he'll win some. He could win Daytona, but I think honestly he's just consistent enough to be able to. And I don't see any other winners besides maybe Daytona. I could see Hamlin winning Richmond, and then Watkins Glen. You're probably gonna see Elliott up there. You're gonna see your main road course guys up there. So I would put money that Blaney gets in. He's been way too consistent to not be in there. Second in points. I mean, come on, that man should be in there. How many points is he
behind though?
He's 19 ahead of Truex. Oh wait, no, you mean
he's 117 behind Chase.
I don't think anybody's catching Chase at this point. I think that's pretty much
unless the RNG center runs wild.
Not a possibility.
Chase just needs to finish
the
too.
R&D center this week.
Luckily,
they picked the car that might have been our worst car.
Garbage.
Yeah.
He still got to
So Tegan, what do you think? Blaney in, out?
I mean, you talk about he had a good finish for Michigan, but let's be honest, him and Joey both were running like 20s for a majority of that race. They had the track position at the end right along with Harvick. I think Harvick had the better car. I think Harvick had the better Ford for the last 10 weeks. I don't think Blaney has been consistent as people has given him credit for the last couple of races. I'll look for Truex to hit one somewhere.
Ooh,
Either the Glen or Richmond. I'll look for Truex to get one. I'm going to go for an old man just because my old man won. So I'm going to go for the old guy. Whether Blaney gets one later, I don't know. But I think Truex gets one somewhere between now and then. He's just got too much money behind him. He's playing with house money now. Gibbs is going to put everything in that car to make sure he's got 4 cars in the playoffs.
Ooh.
Just can't put tape.
Can't do that. Apparently, he didn't do that with Truex anyway, so there you go. Oh, well, hell, he might have. They only done the first 2 cars, so.
That's intriguing.
Ryan, what do we got?
Apparently Stewart-Haas is in for a major announcement tomorrow, so that could be very interesting.
Well, look at freaking Parsons breaking the news live on the podcast.
We're a podcast.
Go RP! It's the reason why we call you RPDP for a reason.
We got a major announcement inbound somewhere.
Fucking reporter, let's go.
we got a major announcement inbound. It could be something big.
Now, do we think that this is now? Well, hang on. This could just be like an Eric Almirola not retiring thing.
This could be an Almirola thing.
Almirola's coming back.
Do you really want to make it a big announcement like that for something like that, though? I
mean,
they make bigger announcements for less.
Unless they're doing another surprise on us and they're switching manufacturers. Because that one, last one they did from Chevy to Ford, they literally pulled the rug. Nobody even had that rumor in the possibility. It literally, nobody knew it till the day they announced it. So, I mean, it's been a rumor for a while that Dodge has been looking to come back, and it's been a rumor that Stewart-Haas, he's already got to deal with Dodge. So, it's not, and you know what? I'd be all for it.
And
it's like Toyota, it'd be all money.
Stewart-Haas is never, they're going to be always one of 2 top Ford teams.
Yeah.
They're never going to be the one top team. Like Hendrick is the top Chevy team and Joe Gibbs is the top Toyota team.
Well, I mean, he was the top Ford team till this new car. And then last year when they had the parts freeze.
Well, Penske, you can argue, was always there.
Well, I mean, if you want to do team-wise, yeah, maybe. But now Harvick's done enough to carry Stewart-Haas to be the number 1 Ford team there for the longest time.
Definitely.
Let's just be honest. So
yeah. So that major announcement. Shout out Ryan. Looks like he's working away at this trying to.
Do you know what time it is?
No, it just says
Noon?
stay tuned. It just says stay tuned. It could happen at any point. Now I don't know if it's going to be Smoke. Smoke could be the one that's going to break it before Stewart-Haas breaks it, because Smoke's he's hinting at it big time right now.
What did he say?
He's saying major announcement tomorrow, and he talked about winning and all that. So
I just don't think that's for Eric.
This is not an Eric Almirola thing.
That's
not for Eric.
That's not an Eric Almirola.
We've shared
winning and Eric Almirola don't belong in the same sentence.
And I'm not saying it because of that. I don't think Tony Stewart's going to go out of his way to tweet separately and say, for all that for Eric Almirola. That's just going to be like an announcement that Eric does on his own.
Now, what about Ryan?
Maybe they announced Stewart-Haas or that Harvick's like going longer than what he planned.
I love Ryan Preece, but if the announcement has something to do with winning, then it does nothing to do with Ryan Preece.
This is Smoke's full post that he has, and it's him by his championship car. So I don't know what it means, but it says, shifting gears after an exciting weekend. Speaking of winning, fans, we shared a lot of iconic moments over the years, haven't we? Stay tuned for a major announcement tomorrow. So iconic.
So it's either Dodge or it's Kyle Busch.
It's him running like the Roval or something.
I don't think
in like
the Roval.
An Xfinity.
That's a shit show.
I don't know.
It would be in the Xfinity. I think he wants to run a road course in the Xfinity series.
If you're making an announcement like that and just to waste it so you can announce that you're running the Xfinity race next year, I'm gonna
maybe Office Depot is coming back next year.
People are someone put Office Depot returning ? And someone also said
If it's his
Dodge.
championship car, maybe it's Office Depot. Maybe
It
they
is
get
his-
another sponsor next year.
It's his 2011 championship car.
That may
Oh,
be the car.
yeah.
That may be the sponsor for Kyle that's been looking for.
I mean, that's
And maybe they move Briscoe to the 41 and Kyle takes the 14 with Office Depot.
I would love to
I
see.
think they would just put it on the 41. I don't think
think
they
they
move
wanna do
Briscoe
that.
around. I don't know.
It'd be up for discussion because Kyle would probably like to be associated with maybe the 14 more than he would the 41, just because it was
And
Tony's
Office
number.
Depot probably would want to be on the car that they were on when they had
Before.
success.
That's
you know.
just very interesting that he broke that. Right. So I mean, we don't know if it is Busch to Haas. I mean,
Hey, go to Adam Stern. That motherfucker knows everything.
This was Tony that broke it, so that's when I found it. I don't know if Stern is on it yet.
Adam Stern or
Oh.
Pockgrass.
I'll check Twitter right now, see what's
D2.
going on.
Because this could be major news for tomorrow that will be discussed.
Yeah, Adam Stern ain't tweeted in 10 hours, so he must be asleep.
Slaving.
Yeah.
But I mean, for Tony to break that, I mean, there's one of two things: Dodge or Busch.
I think we're going to be disappointed. I think it's going to be nothing. Now that I'm there thinking about it.
It might just be nothing. But if it's something that Tony's saying iconic, it hints at something. It'll be a wait and see, because it was on. He posted on his Instagram with him right by his 14 car.
Oh, Watkins Glen's in a couple of weeks.
Oh,
I wouldn't be surprised.
Watkins Glen was one of his best road courses.
Yeah, when Jeff Gordon would go off the track in front of him. I'd actually win a race on merit.
Sonoma is also a decent track for
So you
Stewart.
notice that he has tagged NASCAR,
He tagged NASCAR,
IndyCar.
SRX, and World of Outlaws.
Yeah, he did that
That's
too.
just fucking with you. He's leaving you. hanging.
He's leaving too much to spit. He's tagging everything that he's running pretty much. So is it him going? Is it him? I don't know. He's throwing everyone for.
It's gotta have. I don't know if it's gonna. I feel like it's gonna be a disappointment, to be honest.
Yeah.
Whatever the
I
announcement
think so
is.
too.
But I'm excited to see what happens. Hopefully, it's something fun. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about from Michigan or NASCAR news or anything related to the weekend at all?
That was breaking news.
I want to talk about the Ryan Blaney bubble situation because I didn't get to.
Okay.
Mr.
All
Mr.
right.
Parsons breaking news over here. I, as a Blaney fan, I am very worried for him because we have a track coming up this weekend that Truex is notably very good at, and a track that Blaney is notably very bad at. I think up until last year was his first top 15 at Richmond, I believe. He's not good at Richmond. He's never been good at Richmond. And then after that, we go to Watkins Glen, another track that Martin Truex is very good at. And then it's like, I don't know. I'm just really worried of the two tracks coming up.
And you can't rely on Daytona because it's a different beast now with this new car. They draft different. You literally have to be top 5 to have a shot at the win. If you're not top 5, top 10 even, I wouldn't even say top 10, you're not winning the Daytona race unless they ever one wreck in front of you and you just plow through it. So you can't rely on Daytona, not with the way these cars are driving there.
Absolutely. So let's get into our little league race recap here. Tegan wins again.
Oh, really? Oh,
Nice.
yeah.
How'd your race go?
It went pretty well. I mean, JB, another week, another driver kept me honest. So, I mean, he was right there the whole time till, he made a couple fuck-ups. But, I mean, he was still within 2 seconds. So, I'm winning them, but I'm not out there spanking ass like some people say. So, I've had 3 or 4 different drivers the last 3 or 4 weeks, keep me on my toes. So, the competition's there. It's going to happen eventually. I'll get beat, and it's fine when I do, just as long as it ain't Homestead.
That's the one I want to beat you at.
Tegan's going to just be if let's say I don't make it, I'm just gonna be the one that he's gonna holler on, be like, dude, I don't care if you practice with me or not, just at least get this damn lobby started up so I can at least get some practice, damn it.
Well, my race was okay. I got second in the stage, third in the race. I hit the wall and messed up Bradley, which also messed me up. So that really kind of screwed everything over for me.
With a funny moment with Matt as well.
I had a little funny with Matt on the last lap and a half. If anybody wants to check out my stream on my channel with Mania, you can watch that and skip to the end because that is a fun little exchange in the last lap and a half. But I'm happy, another top 3, just a little bit short. Wish I could have gotten there. Top two.
That would have been back-to-back weeks for him too.
But there was a little spice. Bradley and Spencer went at it. Ryan had a little thing going on. We're not going to talk to Ryan about it because Ryan said a lot, and I've said more. And trust me, I know who I think is right. He's not. He's on the podcast. Anyway, Spencer and Bradley went at it again. Those guys don't like each other very much.
I don't think Bradley likes Spencer. I don't think Spencer's got to hate nobody. It's Bradley. It's one-sided. It's Bradley hates Spencer. It's just seems like when Spencer messes up, Bradley's there. Bradley's always there. They're like magnets. Bradley can't help it. But Bradley should blame Mike because Mike's the one that put him back there.
It was my fault.
So he really should have wrecked your ass is what he should have done.
Yeah. But I apologize, though. But hey, at least Bradley was a sensible driver that understood an apology.
Did he? Because he didn't accept it like the whole race.
He didn't accept it, but he didn't yell at me. He didn't harass me the whole time.
I guess
he accepted it after the race. That's better than the alternative. But I think that's basically all we've got for today. Anybody else got any final thoughts before we head out of here?
Hope the announcement for Stuart Haas is big, but it'd probably just be something minor with just Tony.
I think Tony took his own horn.
I think it's going to be
the announcement is big, but it's going to be minor
all the time.
Watch
what
them.
Does that mean?
Watch all. Like Tony's going to make it's a special announcement, but it's just going to be about Stuart. It's not going to be about the team. Watch, he just says, "Oh, I'm making an IndyCar team now."
Oh, that would piss me off.
Because Gene's already got an F1 team.
And Tony's got a drag team, so I think they're spreading themselves a little too thin here.
I think Tony does a dirt team too. Doesn't Tony have a dirt team too?
Yeah, I think he's got somebody running that one.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about whatever Tony Stewart's major, minor, big, small announcement is next week. But thank you, Ryan, Weasel, and Tegan for joining me this week. Hope everybody that watched enjoyed, and that'll do it. So we will see you next Monday after Richmond.